Those of us who live in reality know that Archer's testimony proved that Joe lied about never talking to Hunter about his business dealings and not being involved in it at all. But when it comes to Joe and Hunter Biden, reality is not where most Democrats live. They live in a land of lies and self-deception where their ability to perceive suffers under the tyranny of cognitive dissonance. In that reality, Devin Archer's testimony did the opposite. It, according to Democrat Representative Dan Goldman, completely absolved President Biden of any involvement in Hunter's business world.
Devin Archer was Hunter Biden's business partner from 2013 to 2016, and he was most notably on the board of Burisma with Hunter Biden. And what he testified to yesterday completely absolves Joe Biden of any involvement in Hunter Biden's business world.
You heard him. Case closed. In that world, anyway, a world in which the only thing President Biden is guilty of is being a grieving father. A grieving father who, as he was struggling watching one of his sons die, fell victim to the manipulative exploits of his other son, which MSNBC perfectly explains to us here.
As far as Hunter Biden goes, there's no doubt. I mean, it's pretty clear, even those close to the Biden family suggest that some of his behavior was pretty unseemly. That doesn't make it illegal. And it also means we don't know the role that then Vice President Biden may have played. And it seems like, no, they haven't proven that he had anything to do with it. They haven't proven that he profited from this at all. Yet maybe he is guilty of turning a blind eye to some of his son's behavior. And we should put this in context. This is a time when Beau Biden, the president's other son, was ill and then dying and then passed away. So perhaps he was not as attentive to what he should have been here. But again, there has simply been no evidence, Gene Robinson, no evidence at all that he was profiting from this or that either of them committed a crime when it came to this. And we hear here from Comer and other Republicans, it's wishful thinking. They're trying to create a scandal.
They can't even say that without acknowledging with the way they're talking that they're lying. Listen to him pause there.
So perhaps he was not as attentive to what he should have been here. But again, there has simply been no evidence, Gene Robinson, no evidence at all that he was profiting from this or that either of them committed a crime when it came to this. And we hear here from Comer and other Republicans, it's wishful thinking. They're trying to create a scandal when there's no evidence that they have one.
Yeah, they're trying to create a scandal, or at least the appearance of a scandal, the sort of smokiness of a scandal, and just create that atmosphere without actual evidence and without an actual scandal. Because I think it's pretty clear, at least so far, there is nothing there. There is nothing there. You could certainly argue that at some point, if Hunter Biden put President Biden on the speakerphone for like 20 times, you could certainly ask whether at some point President Biden might have said, hey, quit putting me on speakerphone. Are you having a business meeting? Like, what is that about? But the context is that this was a sort of very fraught and sad time for the Biden family, and we know how important family is to the president. And so, do you hang up on your phone on your son at any time, but certainly at a moment like that? And probably the answer is no.
There you have it. Joe didn't know what was going on during all those calls. How could he have? He was sad, and Hunter took advantage of his sadness. This was all Hunter's fault. And here we thought that the first family member that Hunter started screwing was his dead brother's wife, when as it turns out, before his brother even died, he was already screwing his own dad. Joe is an innocent victim here. Hunter created this situation. That is the narrative. That is the implications of the narrative. Hunter the screw up. They're going to drive him back into drugs with all this. I mean, he's got this great career in painting, and now they're pinning everything on him. The question now is, will Joe Biden pardon Devin Archer for providing that testimony that completely absolved him of any involvement with Hunter's business and finally proving once and for all that everything Joe is experiencing right now is all Hunter's fault? I mean, I would think that he deserves a pardon. He was set to go to prison for a year, right? We shall see. Somebody should ask him that. If these are the facts we're going to be operating on, then in that world, Devin Archer should get a pardon.